Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike. If you're new here, welcome. Today I want to share with you 4 different books from 4 different eras of my life. First up, we have a poetry book titled The Red Shifting Web by Arthur Z. So I was introduced to this author by one of my professors at a community college, Dorothy Ellis Barnett. I was taking her creative writing course probably in 1997 or 1998, and this book was assigned reading for our class. So this was the first time that I really had to dig into non-rhyming poetry. It was during this time when I was really forced to think about and pay attention to the sentiment of words in the text and really try to wrap my head around writing as a conversation between author and reader. I'd never really thought of it that way. But this book is connected to my early intellectual development, which was a very important time for me. This is my original copy from that class that I took. If you can find your own copy, I encourage you to read some of Arthur Z's work. Next up is a book that really inspired me and sent me on an identity path that I have now been on for many decades. This is the autobiography of Native American activist and author Russel Means. Russel Means is from the Lakota Nation. This book, Where White Men Fear to Tread, was probably my first introduction to really rethinking my identity. This is during an era in my life when I really started contemplating and pushing back against identity labels that I grew up with. This book really taught me the importance of questioning identity and really thinking about who you are, who are the people you come from, and the importance of keeping culture intact. In addition to that, Russel Means lived a life that I was able to connect with. And later in life, I would actually begin to really start to understand why I connected with his autobiography. Russel Means lived a difficult, challenging life, and he also had a very wild life. So if you're interested in learning more about his life, then you'll want to check this book out. It's over 500 pages long, but once you start it, you won't be able to put it down. Fast forward into my life a little bit further, and we come into the era of my life where I begin my political development and activism/organizing. And this was a really life-changing time for me. I was in community college. I didn't know what I wanted to study. I didn't know how to study, but I was surrounded by intellectuality, books, learning, great professors, not so great professors. There was a lot of lessons I was learning. One of the things at this time that I began developing interest in was leftist politics. In my community college library, I did some basic searching. This book popped up. This is the biography of Praxedis Guerrero, who was an important figure in the Mexican Revolution of 1910, oftentimes looked over and unknown. So let's hear a passage from this book. Do you hear it? It is the wind rustling the branches in the mysterious forest, the gust of wind of the future, which wakens the quiet and sleepy underbrush. It is the first sigh of the virgin grove receiving on its bowed head the kiss of an impetuous Aeolus. It is the breath of the revolution. Do you feel it? It is the quaking of granite cracking to pieces, beaten by the iron fist of Pluto. It is the heart of the world beating beneath its enormous chest. It is the fiery spirit of a giant who breaks from his prison to hurl curses of flame into space. It is the trembling announcing the birth of a crater of a volcano. Do you feel it? It is the vibrations made by the hammers of the gods. It is the force of the revolution advancing. That's one example of the poetic and political writings of Praxedis Guerrero. This book about Praxedis Guerrero was so inspiring to me. It led me to learn more about his life, who he was, his political aspirations, and everything he gave up for the benefit of others. I was so inspired, I named my only child after him. And lastly is another book that I crossed paths with at my community college library. This book truly had an impact on me. I already knew of the author and was a big fan of their work. I came across this book during what I consider to be one of the lowest points of my life. During this era of my life, I was in the most toxic relationship I had ever chosen to be in with an abusive partner. So the last book in this list is The Will to Change by Bell Hooks, one of my favorite leading intellectuals. This is my original copy that I purchased many decades ago. It's filled with notes. It has some life-changing concepts for me. This book is filled with words that express ideas that are like mirrors. They force you to reflect on who you are, challenge you to consider the parts of you that need to change, the parts of yourself that are dominated by male patriarchy, how it harms you, how it impacts those around you. The Will to Change, Men, Masculinity, and Love, definitely a book that everybody should read. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave the titles of the books in the description of this video. I hope this list inspires you to go out and purchase one of these books and read them. I would also love to hear in the comments section similar books to this list that you'd like to share with me. I'd also love to hear in the comments section any literature that was life-changing for you, or even literature that just defines an era of your life. Until next time, from Central Texas with love, I'll see you in the next video.